Hey, it's Brandy.
And I'm Danielle.
The lesson plan that we chose for our capstone project is titled, Can You Find the Purpose? This lesson focuses on being able to identify the main purpose of a text, including what the author wants to answer, explain, or describe. This lesson will use hands-on learning and technology to teach author's purpose. And I'll just
To open the lesson, we will begin by asking students a few questions regarding storytelling, such as, have they ever stopped and thought about why they're telling a story to their friends or family? The teacher will allow students to raise their hand and give feedback. I will then explain to the students that authors have reasons for writing books, just like they have a reason for telling a story. I will introduce the students to some essential questions that will help when trying to determine the author's purpose, such as, why do you think the author wrote this text, and what do you think the author wants you to learn from this?
At this point during the lesson, the teacher will introduce that authors write pieces of work for a reason. Using the poster created for the lesson, the teacher will explain the 3 points of views that authors use by using the acronym PI. PI means to persuade, to inform, and to explain. The teacher will show a YouTube video to the class, but instead of us showing that same video, we will use our Ed puzzle that we created to teach author's purpose.
Hi everyone, Mrs. Kane here to teach you about author's purpose. When you're reading, it's always important for you to figure out the author's purpose for writing, and his or her attitude toward the topic he or she is writing about. Since the author doesn't usually come out and say it, the reader must look for hidden meanings, sort of like a detective. A good reader thinks about the words the author uses to help him make his or her point. When possible, it is helpful for the reader to think about the author's life and what events might have made him or her feel a certain way. Let's look back to what you might already know. The PI method. Perhaps you've learned before that the answer to the question, why did the author write this piece, is to look for PI, persuade, inform, or entertain.
Okay, so this question says, check mark all of the author's purposes. So we're going to click entertain, inform, and persuade. Submit it. So we're right.
Did the author give you a piece of persuasion pie? Was he or she trying to change your mind, make you do or believe something?
Persuasion means the author is trying to convince you to do something.
Did the author slice you up a piece of informational pie? Did he or she share information with you or teach you something new? Maybe he or she taught you how to do something.
If the author is trying to inform the reader, he is trying to teach you something by giving you information.
Or maybe the author was simply feeding you a yummy, gooey piece of entertainment pie. Did they try to make you laugh, allow you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the story? Let's take a look at an example.
The fantasy book, The Three Little Pigs, is entertaining.
And see if we can figure out the author's purpose for writing. Tourism that takes responsibility for the protection of cultural tradition and land is called ecotourism. As ecotourists, we should be aware of the impact that we have on the places that we visit. To ensure that future generations can enjoy these places as much as we do, we must be sure to use resources like water and electricity wisely. We must also respect and support the cultural traditions of the places we visit. In this way, these places will maintain the qualities that made them unique in the first place.
Okay, what do you think the author's purpose for this paragraph? I think it is to persuade.
Okay, to determine author's purpose, I like to begin first by determining what it is not. This paragraph is not to entertain. I know that because of the text features and how it reads. There is no dialogue in here, and there's no figurative language, a piece that's trying to entertain me. It also reads like a piece of nonfiction, so I can automatically dismiss the author's purpose as being to entertain. Now that I've eliminated one author's purpose, I have to figure out if the author's purpose is to inform or to entertain. I can see that the author's teaching us about ecotourism here, and so the author definitely wants us to learn something. However, I also see phrases like we must, we should be, we must be. And this clues me into the idea that the author is telling me to do something. This is a good time to tell you that the author's purpose is always one of these three pieces of pie. It is not multiple. So we can't have to inform and persuade. It's one or the other. So you can see here that the author is telling us to do something with we should be, we must be, we must. We have a piece of persuasion pie.
All right. So after each student completed the ed puzzle, the teacher would proceed to read a book to the class to teach them about one of the three purposes an author might write a book. But instead of reading a book to the class, we have created an interactive PowerPoint with short passages and questions about author's purpose. The interactive PowerPoint reviews all 3 points of view.
Alright, so we did our interactive PowerPoint on author's purpose. It says, can you recognize the author's purpose? Take the quiz to find out. We learned in the last ed puzzle video about what author purpose was. So this story says, Alfred was digging in the sand when he found something gold. It was a beautiful necklace and it looked very old. Alfred had found a treasure. Maybe the newspaper would write a story about it. Maybe he would be famous. Alfred thought about what it would be like to travel all over the world finding treasures and getting to be more and more famous. Then Alfred's sister Becky came by. She saw the necklace. Oh, my necklace, she said happily. Thanks for finding it. I left it on the beach this morning. What is the author's purpose for writing this? Was he informing us about something? Was he persuading us, or was he entertaining us? Correct, he was entertaining us. Okay, it's the same story, but we have a different question. The question says the author wants to describe what it's like to be famous, explain how to dig in the sand, or tell a story about a boy who finds a necklace. No, he wasn't describing about being famous. He said he would like to be famous, but he's not famous. He didn't tell us what it's like to be famous. He didn't explain to us how to dig in the sand. He just said he was digging and he found something. It says, tell a story about a boy who finds a necklace. He did find the necklace in the sand, so let's click this one. Great, we were correct. So here's another story. It says, everyone should visit Spain at least once in their life because it is an incredibly beautiful place. Spain is a country that is full of beautiful architecture that dates back to many years. Spain also has a rich history of music and dance. Anyone who enjoys dancing will have a good time in Spain. Spain also has some of the most delicious food, which includes a variety of seafood, soup, rice dishes. Spain's beautiful scenery, enjoyable music, and mouth-watering food are some of the reasons that everyone should visit Spain. informing us, persuading us, entertaining.
I think it was persuading us.
Correct. Good job, Miss Brady. So it says the author was trying to persuade us to go to Spain by telling us about the scenery, music, and food, what the people are like, or about his last trip there. What do you think, Miss Brandon?
Well, they talked about the rice dishes and the beautiful scenery, so let's go with this one.
Good job. We're correct. So another story says, the Great Lakes are a chain of freshwater lakes located in eastern North America on the Canada-United States border, consisting of Lake Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario. They form the largest group of freshwater lakes on Earth. The Great Lake regions contain not only the 5 main lakes themselves, but also numerous minor lakes and rivers, as well as approximately 35,000 islands. What is this author's purpose for writing this? Or is he informing us, persuading us, or entertaining us? He's not persuading us to do anything. He's just telling us about it. He's not entertaining us. I think he's informing. What do you think, Miss Brandon?
I think you're right. I think it's informed.
Also, where are the Great Lakes located?
I think Western North America.
Oh, nope, you're wrong, Miss Brandon. Let's go back in the passage and find it. It says, where are the Great Lakes located? It said the Great Lakes are a chain of freshwater lakes located in eastern North America. Sometimes you got to go back in the passage and find it.
Eastern.
You finished the quiz. You are an expert at recognizing the author's purpose.
Okay, after the class completes the interactive PowerPoints, the students will then divide into groups. The students will be given a book and asked to partner read the book. Once all groups have finished reading the books, the students will share the book that they were given with the class. The students will write the title of their book on a sticky note and stick it on the board under the correct purpose their book is serving. They will then share their thoughts on why they think the purpose is what they chose.
The lesson also introduced us to a new website that will be helpful in our future classroom. The website is a blog website for kids called www.kidblog.org. The teacher allows each student to write a short blog post following the lesson. The students were also allowed to read their classmate post and reply by typing persuade, inform, or entertain under the blog post that reflects which author's purpose they think it is. So that means you get to go on there and write something, and your fellow classmates get to write, oh, he was trying to persuade us to do this, or inform us, or entertain us about something. The teacher will then bring the lesson to a close by reviewing the students' posts and comments by showing them on the smartboard. So then she's going to go on there and tell you if you were right by being persuade, entertain, or inform.
This thing is 12 minutes.
That's all.
Why do writers write? We got 3 reasons. Let's go. Authors write. I wonder why. It's to persuade, inform, or entertain. That's why. Yeah, every time I write a refrain, it's to persuade, inform, or entertain. It's pi, but I'll start with the I. I is for inform. That's when the authors try to inform you or give you information. They explain or describe a situation or a thing. Like polar bears live in the north in the Arctic, the coldest spot on Earth. Their thick fur coat keeps them all warm. They swim, eat fish, and they're super duper strong. Why did the author write all of that? Why? To tell us about polar bears. It was full of facts.